it doesn't really matter. Like, you can be the most creative individual ever, but if your output is low, there's no way to be prolific.
I also really like this like modern idea of your mental diet and like just being hyper aware about the things that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. Like, it might not seem like a big deal to see a CBC article every day about some crime that happened in your city or whatever. And I'm not saying totally tune out of the news and not know what's going on, but be very selective. Like, do you need to know that 400 people got laid off today? And it's like, well, in some cases, maybe if you are investing in that company, or maybe if it's like somebody in your family, but like realistically, 99% of the news is not relevant to us. And if we didn't know it, our lives would have continued on the exact same way. Also, if you, on the converse, even like innocent seeming stuff like, I don't know what's relevant, Farmville invites or whatever on social media, like any like extraneous shit that is just not going to bring you any value, any apps on your phone that you don't need to be looking at, any clutter in your house that you don't need to be seeing, like all of that stuff weighs you down and also builds up that residue. I think it's super important to be thinking about it in that manner and not to underestimate how much power some of these little things actually have in influencing our subconscious.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's actually something that TED Talk that I was mentioning earlier that was super powerful was mentioning. It's like your happiness is somewhat also based on the inputs that you're giving yourself. And if you watch the news that is fear-mongering every day, you're going to start to believe that everything about the world is shit. And if you believe everything about the world is shit, then why does it matter what you do? There are a lot of fucking shitty parts about the world. Yeah, we all know that. We've seen that very much firsthand recently. But spending time to fix those in the ways that you can is good regardless, and not diving into all of the stuff that you cannot fucking fix. Like you were saying, like there's a lot of stuff that you can be informed on and help and make positive change for, but there's a lot of stuff that fucking like you're just watching and like, oh my God, like the world sucks ass. Like that stuff does weigh on you too, and it's the news's job to make you feel like you have to watch the news because you're afraid of all of the shit that's happening. That's like their fucking shtick. That's how they get you to watch. Like understanding that and understanding that you need to consciously filter your inputs to avoid that problem that you were just talking about. Super important.
Yeah, curation is what I like to call that. You know, it's like if you got, I mean, down to, you know, your Facebook acquaintances. Like when it's a real friend, that's one thing. But there's so many people we have on our feeds that we met at that one thing that one time and never saw again, but became Facebook friends for some reason. And I've gone through my Facebook friends, list, or even just going through the timeline every once in a while. I'd be like, who don't I actually know? And what are they actually saying? Like, I don't remember who you are, but you're complaining every time I see you. And it's not even about stuff that's like relevant or helpful. It's just like your tiny little thing that was bad today. And it was like, yeah, okay, good luck. Good luck complaining about everything, person I don't know. I'm not going to look at it anymore. And just start to pull these things off your timelines. And like you said, take apps off your phone if they just send you notifications that you never want to check. Like, you're allowed. Like, people get mad at their phone. Oh, my phone's always bothering me. I was like, the thing has an off switch and all these options to let you know, like, give you control over what it shows you. But if you don't use those options, then that's on you.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, people are always, like, overwhelmed by how many emails they get or whatever. You got to unsubscribe from shit that you don't want to get, dude. Like, everyone, like... If you just ignore it or delete it, like, no, like if you have gotten 3 emails from this person and you haven't opened a single one or deemed it important at all, like you should strongly consider unsubscribing. And if you get 10, motherfucker, you have to unsubscribe from that shit, because the inbox that you need is stuff that you actually want to read and pay attention to. Otherwise, you're just cluttering up your own mind with allowing yourself to see a bunch of shit that's going to distract you.
100%. A good analogy is thinking about what our bodies are, and thinking about how we have bacteria in our bodies that are constantly trying to eat away at us, that our body is fighting back with and sometimes harmoniously working with. But these are the same bacteria that start to like decompose our bodies once we give up the good fight. Now, everything in life is this proactive fight, and it's as if you're standing on a treadmill, and if you become totally stationary, you're actually going to start getting moved back slowly. And if you have to take a break here and there for whatever reason, because life does get hard sometimes, it's okay to go back a little, but you can't fool yourself and think that if you stay stationary for too long or aren't proactive about disabling notifications, you aren't proactive about protecting your attention, you aren't proactive about putting in those 10 minutes a day, you're not staying at a standstill. You're actually making negative progress. But, and this works in both directions, if you're putting in that 10 minutes, those 10 minutes every single day are going to get more valuable. If you're going to the gym and weightlifting, for example, each of those sessions is going to become more valuable because it's building upon the previous. It goes up in this exponential sort of rate, and it spirals out into either great success, or if you stay too still on that treadmill of life for too long, it will spiral out into negative success, negative whatever, and you'll find yourself in this really, really deep hole, because very rarely do things ever go slightly wrong, or very rarely do things ever slightly distract you. Like you said, you see that Slack message, you reply to it, you can't find the files, now you realize you're hungry, but you're not actually like hungry, but like you go for a snack, and then like, well, I'm at the bathroom, I just realized I got to take a piss, and then like, oh, let me hug my girl, she's looking cute, and then you like get in a conversation, and then like you get back, and then you like kick your feet up on the table, and you're like, yeah, I guess I'll like make a rack or something, and then like you're just like going through the motions, and then like that thing on your phone goes off, and it's like now you can't even give yourself that 20 minutes undistracted time to like ignore that notification on your phone. Like you slipped up and you took the phone from the other room, and now it's in your studio on your desk, and everything just becomes that much less productive. You have to be on the offense about these things.
Yeah, I love how this episode has turned into kind of like a productivity hack episode. This is like something that I've borderline obsess about nowadays, where I have the time to try and be as productive as possible, and it is still surprisingly fucking hard to be at what I feel is 100% productive. And so it's like something that we're all constantly striving to get better at. If y'all have any productivity talk tips that we haven't talked about, like drop a comment, because I want to know that shit, because I can't get enough fucking tips on how to schedule my time, how to think about things in a more efficient way, how to be more productive. I'm not borderline. I am obsessed with that shit. So let us know.
This is definitely going to be an ongoing conversation, because not only is it helpful for you humans, the listeners, it's very helpful for us humans, the hosts, to keep thinking about this, because having creativity is great, but without this like machine built of productivity and timing and scheduling and when to and how much to rest and all this, like it doesn't really matter. Like you can be the most creative individual ever, but if your output is low, there's no way to be prolific.
I like it.
What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. And if you have any questions or topics that we need to cover on the show, put them in the comments. Appreciate you. Peace and peace among worlds.